Hi, I'm Alex. I work at Go Creative as a business support coordinator, and I've worked here for about a month and a half now.
My name is Elena, and I am here to interview Alex with regards to his experience as an apprentice. Obviously, Alex has been here for a month and a half so far. So first of all, how did you decide that you want to do an apprenticeship?
It was like a choice between that and going to uni, and I just saw doing an apprenticeship as just putting me straight into like working. And doing an apprenticeship as well gave me skills while I was working and getting paid at the same time instead of going to uni and getting into debt and then having to find a job after. So it's just a lot more straightforward going into an apprenticeship.
Alright, so how did you find this particular position at Go Creative?
I applied through Qdos, and then when I went to Qdos, and they kind of suited apprenticeships for me. So they would then send my CV out to companies that were kind of appropriate for me, and they would just decide if they wanted to interview me or not. And then I would just, if I wanted to go for the position, I'd then go for the interview.
Alright, so how many interviews did you have?
I only actually had this one because I applied for a few others, but then the first apprenticeship I applied for, the position got withdrawn, and then the other ones kind of nothing came of it. I think they just stopped hiring for that one as well. So this was the only real interview I actually had.
Alright, so you've had one interview and you got the job.
So yeah, that's quite good.
Quite good.
Yeah.
So when you were going through the interview, first of all, did you prepare for the interview?
Yeah, before I had the interview, I went on the website, just kind of looked up on the internet more about the business. So then when I got to the stage of going for the interview, I could then answer any questions or ask something if I wanted to know about the business. And so I was just prepared for anything. I knew what kind of business, if I got the job, I was going to be working for.
And how did you feel your interview go? Were you nervous? Were you quite relaxed?
I thought it went really well. I was quite confident and answered all the questions really well that got asked.
Oh, right.
But then obviously went well anyway because I got the job. Yeah.
So what do you think you have in your qualities that got you this job?
I was quite confident with the job, and I've got good, I've worked well in a team, which is quite a big role in this job, because you're working with everyone else in the office to get all the tasks done. And just I was quite enthusiastic towards doing the job, which is quite a big quality.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the job actually entails?
Go Creative here, what we do is we do products for us. Like the bit I do is for House of Fraser. So House of Fraser will place an order for a product. Then we'll place the order with the factory who we're getting it from. Then we'll request a sample from them, which will be the initial sample. So then we'll get the sample based on what they wanted and send it to them. And it basically goes from there, it's on a critical path. So I kind of manage various parts of that to get it to the end stage, which is when it goes into mass production and gets handed over at the port to them.
Alright, so it's quite an interesting job.
Yeah, it's good.
So what have you achieved so far in your job?
Since I've been here about a month and a half, from the first orders that I've done, I've got to near the end cycle. So it's at the last sample, which will be it's called a gold seal sample, which is the actual sample, the actual product, as it will be when it goes into the shops. So that's the last sample, and then after that it goes into mass production. So it's near the end, and that's on about 9 orders.
Alright.
Which is really good, yeah.
Yeah. So how did it feel like when you first started? How was it different to have this job against what you've done before?
It was quite daunting because you have to learn quite a lot of things compared to what I was doing at A-levels. It was kind of quite relaxing or quite easy compared to this, because I was kind of doing part-time at sixth form and going in for a few hours a day, compared to this is 8.5 hours a day. But I enjoy it a lot more because there's more things to do, plus you're getting paid for it. which is good.
So do you get stressed out with everything you have to do?
Occasionally, it's just sometimes I have like loads of tasks to do, and I look at it and just think there's loads there, and I don't know what kind of things to do, and I think I'm not going to be able to get it all done before the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's once you get it all done, it's kind of a relief because you've done all the tasks that you need to.
That's good. So what about the overall process of how you, the recruitment process, how you got this job? Did you find the process quite easy, or was it a little stressful? Or?
I thought it was easy. Originally, when I went to Qdos to apply, I went over to see somebody, and they spoke to me about what they did at Qdos. So I gave them a load of information like my CV and just some other paperwork, and over the next few, I think it's about a month, they kind of just looked around to see the jobs that were appropriate for me, and then they would just go to they would see if the company, they'd send my CV to them, and they'd see if the company liked me or wanted to interview me, and from there Vinny had contacted Go Creative, and they'd said they wanted to interview me, and I think it was a few days after that I went to the interview, and then the day after that Vinny rang me and said I got the job. So
all right,
it was quite easy, and it was quite a quick process as well.
So I'm glad we have looked after you.
Yeah, it went well.
Well, thank you very much for sharing with your experience, and we will catch up with you once you finish your apprenticeship.
Okay.
Thank you.